What's up, everybody? It's Tony back with another video. Welcome or welcome back. If you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and click on the subscribe button and then notification button so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So I'm so excited. Well, I'm gonna get to the bad part later, but first I'm gonna get to the good part. And I'm so excited because as you guys can see behind me, I have my very first bookshelf. I never owned a bookshelf in my life. Actually, I had one bookshelf, but I used it not for books. I used it for hair care products because, as a lot of you may know already, I just started reading back in November of 2023. So I'm really excited. I bought this, and I originally actually bought this. It is a bookshelf, but I bought it just for decoration. I was gonna put some trinkets or shot glasses or something, kind of, you know, get my room going, have a little cozy vibe or whatever. But then now that I started reading, I'm actually going to use this for a bookshelf. Well, for now anyway, unless I decide to get something else. Okay, so I think you can see it pretty good, but maybe I will go back and give you a better look. So as you can see, the part I love about it most is that it has little LED lights, and these change to all the different, colors: red, yellow, green, blue, a different kind of blue than this. So I really like that because I'm the type of person that loves lights. And then, so if you can see a little closer, it has a top shelf, second shelf, and then it has, let me see, two other shelves down at the bottom. I'm like holding my tripod in my hand trying to film this, but you see it has a total of 4 shelves. Now this is a corner shelf, so it's shaped kind of awkward. So you can see how I have the books arranged are kind of like in the middle. I guess as I get more, they'll kind of fit there, but they'll probably stick out a little bit. And you can see my second shelf. And a lot of these books, I don't have them in any kind of order. I just kind of threw them up here just because I wanted to look good. I was tired of books just being on my floor. But a lot of these books I've read already, but then a lot of them are on my TBR list. And then the last one at the bottom, as you see, I have it laying there. That's what I'm going to talk about in a minute. But I just was excited about this. And then I also want to show you something else in my room that I'm excited about. And this is my new little, well, it's not little, it's actually big. It's like a TV stand / fireplace. And this also, like, I still have my tripod in my hand, so you might see a little wobbly. This also changes colors. I love this thing. Let me see if I even remember how to do it. No. Yeah. Okay, so the remote that I have in my hand changes the colors in the back, and it's kind of light right now, so you probably can't see it as good. But also I'm gonna do it like this, just try to make it easy on myself. Let's see. You can see I don't even use this that much. Oops. No, that's the heater. I don't want that. So as you can see, the little fireplace with the rocks in it, and I was pushing the wrong button at first. I think this, you see I barely know how to work it. So that's like a really light, or I guess it's white, kind of yellowish, like green, blue. I don't know if you can see the colors good, but that's the color I kind of keep it on the most, the blue, because I really like that. So yeah, those are just some little upgrades to my room that I just wanted to show you guys. And I was really like, just because this is BookTube, I really want to show you guys the bookshelf, because it's the first time I ever had books on the shelf in my life. So I'm excited about that. But anyway, back to the subject at hand, what I really want to talk to you about. This is actually going to be my first video where I'm actually just doing a book review. And I wanted to kind of take some time and separate this book from the rest of the books that I've talked about. Because as some of you may know already, I love thrillers. That's all I read. That's what I started reading. I don't see myself ever going into romance or young adult or anything like that. Or even biographies and autobiographies and all that kind of stuff. I just don't like that. It's just like boring to me. But thrillers is where it's at as far as I'm concerned. So the book that I want to talk about today is called The Last Time I Lied. And this is by Riley Sager. And as like I keep reiterating, I'm new to books, new to reading, new to authors. I know nothing about nothing. In the only way, either I just go in blind and buy something, or somebody like my sister or somebody else will recommend something to me, and that's how I get the books that I have. Freida McFadden is the first author that was ever recommended to me. That's where I started. I love her books. I still have more to read over on the shelf. And I'll be talking about those later in other videos, but I kind of branched off a little bit. I heard about Riley Sager. I looked on Goodreads, pretty good reviews, I felt actually the reviews were just as good as like Freida McFadden's. On Amazon, the reviews were good and everything. And so I don't even know why I bought this. I bought this when I went to Barnes & Noble. I had no plan or anything, but I saw a whole bunch of Riley Sager books, so I bought them. And I started with this one, again, it's called The Last Time I Lied. I want to talk about this because if you go on Goodreads and read the reviews, it's literally going to be in line with what I'm about to say right now, but I'm kind of just validating what I read. I'm the type, I don't care what nobody else says. I don't care about, I look at other booktuber videos, but if just because they say a book is bad or they give it 2 stars, or whatever, that doesn't mean I'm not going to read it, because my taste is different than what a lot of other people's tastes are. I do read the reviews just kind of like for entertainment purposes, but I don't really go by that unless literally every single person says they give it 1 star. I might not read it, but if it's kind of mixed up and down, I don't go by that, because I'm have my own opinion anyway. So I got this book. For those of you who don't know anything about Riley Sager, and I'm probably gonna botch up what I'm about to say. Like I said, I'm new to this. Riley Sager is a man, just in case anybody was wondering, anybody didn't know. From what I understand, I don't know, somebody else can validate this. Riley Sager used to write, or has written other books under a different name, like a more manly name. I don't even remember what his real name is or whatever. And like his books weren't doing good. And from what I understand, what I hear is because he tries to write things from like a woman's point of view or something like that. And people say they could see right, it just didn't sound right or whatever. So he took on the pen name Riley Sager, which I wasn't sure it was this a man or a woman myself. And I really didn't care. I don't care who's the author of my book, that man, woman, whatever. So the name was Riley, whatever. And so I was reading up on this author, maybe on Goodreads or Amazon or something, and they were saying it was a he or something like that. So I was like, okay, Riley is a man. Unisex name, doesn't matter. On the reviews, a lot of people were saying they can't stand him and stuff because he makes women and girls seem like this, just all this. It's like his books are almost insulting to women or something like that. I personally didn't see that in this book. Maybe I have a few more of his. Maybe I'll see it in another book. Maybe I won't. I didn't see it at all in this. It's just a book. And if he wrote, to me, if you're a man and you only wrote books through a man's eyes and a woman only wrote a book through a woman's eyes, and if a woman is an author and there's only women characters, or if a man is an author, there's only male characters, I probably wouldn't be interested in that kind of book. I kind of like a mix of all kinds of people in the book. So, I was like, whatever. So this book, it attracted me because it has like a creepy looking face. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a woman's eyes, some scraggly looking hair. It's dark. And it says, utterly shocking, New York Times. And who cares? Sometimes I get in there, New York Times said blah, 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 whatever. Right now, I'm at the point now I learned I don't care what the New York Times says. But anyway, so this book, it says this book, a tense and twisty thriller about a summer camp that's impossible to forget no matter how hard you try. And so I'm not going to read the back of the book because sometimes I do that, but sometimes I feel it's kind of boring. I'm going to give you my perspective and my point of view and my thoughts on the book. And I'm not going to do any spoilers. If somebody wants to know something, you can, send me a message, or something like that. And I'll tell you if there's something you want to know. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to make it so if you choose to read this book, it's going to be hopefully entertaining to you. So I want to first start off by saying, I just started reading. I don't like to read really long books. I could never read like a Harry Potter book or anything like that. My attention span is not that way for books. I never was like that as a kid or anything. So with Freida McFadden, her books are usually 300-ish, maybe 400, but usually a little bit under 400, which is fine. She has kind of a big font with big space. Perfect book for me. Riley Sager's is a little bit different. This book anyway. For one, it's like almost 400 pages. The font's smaller. It's like the pages are thinner or something. I had to read way more to finish this book than I ever had to read before. So I start this book, and when you see reviews are saying, oh my God, it caught me on the first page, and oh, it was exciting from jump and all this kind of stuff, that gets me excited because I have to keep my attention span going. So fine, that attracts me to a book. This book ain't that. I almost DNF'd it probably like 10 to 15 times. This book took me probably like 2.5 weeks to read. It's never taken me that long to read a book. With Freida McFadden, I can finish the book like in 2 days. I probably could finish it in 1 if I really wanted to. 3 days probably is the max. And it's just probably because I'm busy or something like that. It's not because I can't keep going. This one was so boring to me in the beginning. I just kept stopping. I literally find anything else to do besides read this book, but yet I wanted to finish it. I didn't want to, since I'm so new to reading, I didn't want to have a DNF so soon. But on the other hand, I don't really like to waste my time. So I'm like, okay, this is getting good reviews from people. There's got to be something more to it. So the book starts off, the main character, her name is Emma Davis. I think her last name is Davis. On so many books I read, like the character's name is Emma. I don't know if that's like a popular name in books or whatever, but whatever. So her name is Emma. And so the story is she was at a Camp Nightingale, I believe it's called. Yeah, Camp Nightingale. 15 years ago, a situation happened. She was in a cabin with 3 other girls. They were older. They were like 17, 18-ish. And she was only 13. Somehow she got mixed up because she came late, was in a cabin with older girls. They went missing one night. Never came back. And so that's like the background story. And so then the story takes place. It's in, it's present time. That's like, okay, that's the beginning of the story. That's not a bad thing. Something, took place a long time ago at the camp. Cool, that's fine. But the thing is, when Riley Sager describes the camp, the lake, the grass, the cabin, the creek in the floor and everything, he spends so much time doing that it loses my attention. All I need to know is that there was a cabin, it had a door, it had 3 bunk beds. If there's something else, some details that are not relevant to the story, I really don't need to hear about those, and let alone I don't need to have pages upon pages upon pages trying to describe these intricate details that are just not relevant. So to me, and maybe other readers like that because you want to really see it and feel and, really understand what it looks like and everything. I prefer to get a few details and I use my imagination for the rest. I don't need all that. The second part about this book that kind of lost my attention, the main character, Emma, she's a painter. She's into art and all that. And I'm like so far removed from that. I'm not into art or painting at all. At all. I don't want to hear anything about her or anything. And so they spend a lot of time describing her paintings. And he was trying to make it relevant to the story, but it really wasn't relevant. Telling you that right now, if you're going to read this book and you read it, you probably understand what I'm saying. He tried hard to make the paintings relevant, but they were not relevant to the story. So he could have mentioned like one painting one time, but like each painting, he described it to a T. And it just took such a long time, losing my attention again. So then, of course, since this is a psychological thriller, I think the point of the author is to make you try to guess. Well, that's what I like anyway. Try to guess who did it, who killed somebody, who lied, whatever. So he was trying very hard to do that. And I didn't know what really happened or who was the murderer or whatever. I'll admit that I didn't, quite figure it out. But at the same time, the book lost me so much that I almost didn't even care who the murderer was. I almost wanted to just skip to the end and see what happened. Okay, yeah, so what? So it's in present time, and between the chapters, they go back and forth to 15 years ago in present time, which I think a lot of authors do. Freida McFadden does that too. I don't mind that. I actually like it. And so now she's asked to return to the camp because it closed down when those people disappeared. They call it murder. They never found the bodies, but they say that basically wrote them off as dead. You can't find anybody, in the woods for 15 years or whatever. You write them off as dead. And so she was asked back by the owner, who's this rich lady, billionaire or whatever, of the camp to come back as a counselor because they're all older now. They're in their late 20s or whatever. And so her and some of the other people that were campers back then, they came back as counselors, as other counselors or whatever. She wanted, the rich lady wanted to reopen the thing and start all over and all this blah, blah, blah. And so Emma, the character, she agreed to go back. But really what her real reason why she wanted to go back is not because she just wanted to go back and be a camp counselor. She wanted to go back because she wanted to figure out what happened. Because, those girls that went missing or whatever, they were her friends and they were in her cabin or whatever. And then so the rich lady who owns it, she has 2 sons, Chet and Theo. And Emma, the main character, has a crush on Theo. She had a crush on Theo back 15 years ago. She still had a crush on him now. All that. They were trying to make this, I keep saying that he was trying to make this long story about that and make that all interesting and intriguing and stuff. And it really just wasn't. And so anyway, it turns out at the end, it is revealed what happened to the girls and who was responsible for it. But basically, in the story, there's little clues, associated clues telling you what happened and how they went missing and all this kind of stuff, as what, you know, and who was responsible for it. But also within the book, it looked like somebody was trying to like frame Emma and make it look like she did it, make it look like she was crazy and all this kind of stuff. So that's how the story goes. So anyway, like I said, at the end, they reveal who was responsible. I will tell you, in the present time, there was another group of 3 girls who was in a cabin, and Emma, the main character, was their counselor, and she stayed in that cabin too, and they went missing as well, just to let you know. And that is not a spoiler, I'll tell you that. So when they reveal who had killed the girls, really it was, if I had picked this person as being one of the ones, as well as another person, so I was, you know, I was right, I was 50% right, or whatever you want to say. And so I was like, oh, okay. And it wasn't really an exciting ending. I was like, okay, that's kind of corny. That was pretty guessable, if that's a word or whatever. Anybody could have figured that out. It wasn't even a big deal. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't intriguing. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, you know, I can't believe that so-and-so did it. It was like, yeah, okay. Then you have to keep reading because you kind of think, oh, that's the end or whatever. That's kind of a lame ending. You have to keep going. There's several more pages, and it reveals another secret that happened back 15 years ago. And then that's like the real plot twist. And so it's like, and so it really was like a big old giant balloon that was just deflated. And it's like he was just trying so hard to make it so interesting and to keep you intrigued. And the whole time, he just lost me over and over again. Really, me being kind of a somewhat cheap person, well, in some things anyway, I was like, I'm not going to stop reading this book because I paid money for it. So I got to finish it. I'm not into doing that. Now, I'm not saying I ain't never going to DNF a book. But this one, I felt it was too soon. Me as being a new reader, I was like, maybe I don't know what to look for in a book. So I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm trying to read something that's too elementary or something like that. But this book, the concept of it is great. I thought the concept was great, but I felt that he took too long to get to the end. Honestly, this book could have been better to me if it was like at least 100 pages shorter, and he just got to the point. So you're probably wondering overall, like I'm saying good things about it and I'm saying bad things about it. How many stars would I give it on a 5-star scale? And I will give this is the lowest rating that I've given so far since I've been reading, and I will give it a 3. And like I said, first, I was trying to be real nice, trying to be real generous, trying to be real patient. I was like, this is just me. I'm just too impatient and everything. But this book just took way too long to get to the point. And then the ending, and then the second ending after that was a plot twist. It wasn't worth the wait as far as I'm concerned. And so it's just like, you know, whatever. Move on. But anyway, so that's my review on The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. Again, I just picked this because I liked what it was called. I liked the cover. There was really no other reason. And I will say I have probably at least 3 or 4 other Riley Sager books, because that's pretty much the majority of what I bought last time I was at Barnes & Noble. And I'm not going to give up on him because a lot of people love him. And he has like several best-selling books. And I'm going to try again. I'm going to give him another chance. I'm thinking maybe the over descriptives was due to it being in the woods, and he was trying to describe that, and due to this person being an artsy like person, and maybe that's what just made me lose my attention or whatever. It helped me not be able to pay attention to it or whatever, or help me not it didn't keep my attention. That's what I'm trying to. It did not keep my attention. It's just way too descriptive. But anyway, so yeah, that's my review on this book. I'm so glad this is not the first book I ever read, because if I had read this first, I would have probably never picked up another book ever in my life. So thankfully, I've read about probably 5 or 6 books, very good books, prior to reading this one. So yes, that's my review. If you've read this book, I would really like to hear your thoughts on it. Again, like I said, I say on Goodreads, it seems like kind of almost 50-50. And some people like despise it, like even worse than me. I don't think it was that bad. I don't think it has anything to do with him being a man trying to write a story about some teenage girls and women. I don't think that's what it is. He takes too long to get to the point, to me. But if you like this video, thumbs up. Again, like I always say in my videos, if you have recommendations for psychological thrillers and authors, put those in the comments. And also, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click on the subscribe button. And I will see you in the next video.